As you saw this morning within the video, it has already been explained what the problem is with Dutch healthcare and how it should be solved. And from that video we actually retrieved 3 challenges you're going to face and you have to build a solution for. And the first one is, that's what the professor said, it was about prevention. So the challenge will be, how can we help people with high risk heart failure to prevent a serious condition stroke by using remote monitoring. Okay, so that is the case. So people who are already in the healthcare process in the Netherlands who have a high risk of heart failure, how can we prevent that they are getting a heart stroke? So by remote monitoring, etc. So that's roughly the challenge. Yeah. Even if this, if you can do that on a remote way of working, that means that there's also an increase of the quality of healthcare, because the person doesn't need to go to the hospital every day, but it can be monitored remotely. The second one is more about prevention. How can we ensure that to prevent healthy people from getting heart diseases by educating them? So that is prevention. And the last one is about efficiency, so cost reduction. And that is how can the IT department of Haga Hospital, we've got people from Haga Hospital available here, help to reduce the high number of no-shows at their heart clinic. Is it actually, Marleen? It's the heart clinic. It says health clinic, but specifically the heart clinic. Apparently there's a heart clinic at Haga Hospital, and people have to come in there regularly, and apparently there are a lot of no-shows, which cost a lot of money, etc. So how can IT help? There? So 3 challenges. You already see that they have already been assigned to teams. So team 1 and 2, that is, those 2 teams will work on the first one. Team 3 and 4 will be this team and that team. Is that correct?
Yep.
3, 4, yeah, 3, 4. On the prevention case, prevention challenge. And these 2 middle tables will take a look at the case or the challenge related to the Haga Hospital.
So, would you mind joining this team number 3, because this is already this big?
Yeah, sure.
So, and as you said, these challenges might be a little bit broad to you, or maybe they're a little bit too narrow, and that's why you do the scoping. You talk about it, you get a common understanding within your team, and maybe you even change the challenge. You're free to do that. So rephrase it, make it sound more easy to you, or whatever you think. Get a feeling for your challenge, what you want to work on. So, and the next step after that is the research phase. So the research phase is all about discovering insights, find the experts, talk to the people, and gain empathy from those people. So the first step is you understand your stakeholders. So think about, of course, identify them. Who are they? Like who are the stakeholders of this challenge you are working on? And then understand their expectations, their needs. What do they think about your challenge or what you work on, right? And maybe you can start mapping out who's involved in your process. Just draw it down, like who are the parties that are important regarding your challenge, and what do you want to know from them. And then also gather market information. Do research, desk research. So we already prepared some things for you. I'll show that to you later, and go on the webpage of the stakeholders, or think outside the box. Go to other related organization companies maybe that you can gather information from, and what are your competitive advantages, and think about all different things related to the market. And then of course you go and do field research to understand your users and experts. So each team today has 3 interviews on site with experts and users, different kinds. Like we have a patient here, we have some people from the Haga Hospital, and each team has 3 interviews, and the other team members will do the market information and the research on the desktop, so that you get a broad understanding of everything basically. And so I already mentioned that earlier. When you go outside and talk to the people, there's a very basic principle. What people say is not necessarily what they mean or what they think. So there are a lot of components to be aware of. So, like, look at the environment. How does that look? Like, how do the people behave or act in that environment? How do they, like, what's their body language? Do they look happy? Do they look sad? Like, how are their impressions? These are all very, very important things to consider when you talk to people, and like try to be like build empathy, try to feel like they feel, and make them comfortable. Ask right questions, or if you have the feeling, okay, maybe that was not the right question, like rephrase it and get the feeling for the person you're talking to. And what you want to find out today is are the insights. So a lot of times when you ask people a question like, why do you have an iPhone? And I say, well, it looks nice. It's totally fancy. That's why I have an iPhone. And but maybe that's only my position, and that's not the real need that's behind that. And if you ask me about why is that, like, why do you have an iPhone? What's the actual reason for it? And I'm like, you know what? I have this alarm clock in there that I really need, otherwise I can't wake up because I don't have an alarm clock at home, and that's why I have this phone, because it has an awesome alarm clock on it. So always ask the people why do they think that, why do they do that. We want to find out what's behind their position, what's the actual need they have. And this is also not about asking them, what would you do? Like, we don't want to get solutions from them. We want to find out about their insides, what their experience is, what their needs are. It's not about that they tell you what they want, right? So think about that. So how you ask matters. Don't ask closed questions. Do you like that? Say yes or no. What do you do with that information? Maybe nothing. So always ask, why do you do this? How do you do it? Like, ask open-ended questions, because you want to get you want to get stories. You don't want to get a yes or no answer. You want to like get their story. What's behind that? So that's very important. So when you are with your end users, collect artifacts. So that of course depends a lot on your challenge. So before you go out, you have 30 minutes within your team to talk about, first of course, the scoping, understanding the challenge, and then what you want to find out when you talk to your people. So talk about it within your team, maybe already do a little research guide or checklist and write down some leading questions. That all depends on you, like what kind of person you are. Maybe you don't need that, but maybe you do. Like maybe you're always the end user and you don't know what to ask, so prepare yourself, whatever you feel is best for you. And if you need a research guide, maybe prepare that within your team. And so what we're going to do, I have this guide for you with a lot of research links on it. It's also, one copy is on each laptop on your desk. I also have it on a USB stick. If you want to put it on your personal computer, that's fine too. I would like you to split up within your team that each interview has two participants from your team interviews one person. And then assign roles. One person asking the questions, the other one takes the notes. Because if you are like 6 people interviewing one person, that might be way too intimidating, and you don't want to like put him in a bad feeling. So maybe you want to receive personal stories, right? And if you're like 6 people talking to one, that can be very intimidating, and maybe the person is scared and doesn't want to give you any information. So think about that, right? So you have each 3 interviews. You have a time schedule on here as well, so you know whom to talk to when and what the expertise is. It's all in here. So you can say if you want just 2 people do all the 3 interviews, or you change, so each of you do an interview. That's totally up to you. So just create a schedule and think about it, and the other ones who don't do interviews do the market research, the laptop research. All the links are on here. YouTube links to maybe good internet pages. Jan did that, so thank you, Jan. very good information in here. And when you come back, don't connect dots early. Just let it sit maybe and think about it. So after this research phase, you don't have to share your insights yet. You get extra time for that. So these 75 minutes, or let's say, okay, we have 20 minutes to prepare your research guide and do the scoping. So prepare for your interviews, and then you have another 75 minutes to do the interviews, have a coffee break in between, and do the market research on your computers. But you do not need to share any information yet. So in this time, I want you to get as smart as possible in this specific field that you work on. Do you have any questions? That was a lot of information. So if you have any questions, shoot. The three of us will be here all the time. We help you through this. Anything for now? Yes, please.
I'm curious about the judge on the panel tomorrow at the end of the day. Are they going to be these people part of that?
I think the judges.
The judges
will be part of the.
One judge will be. Is Jelle still here?
Yes, I am.
Jelle Brouwer is he's the account executive for healthcare market in the Netherlands. We have.
You don't know my name.
No,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter.
One of the interviewees.
Asina.
It was Asina. Sorry.
Mrs. Pennycock.
Yes.
Asina. She will be part of the jury, and Rob van der Mark from the Venus, he will be part of the judges. So 3 persons. Yeah.
You gotta be nice to me.
You gotta be nice to all your interviews.
Oh, what?
All right. If you don't have.
We have scheduled for the interviews.
Yes, it's on here.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah. So look at your team number. And maybe you can pass it around. Each team gets 1.
Yes, sir, we have a question there.
Yes, please.
Possible to get your presentation so we can
Right now. Yeah. Let me think about that. Maybe I can do something. Yes. Okay, so on the last page you have the interview schedule, team 1, team 2, etc. And you have the rooms on there, so if you don't have questions about the rooms or the people that you talk to, just come to us. Other than that, I will put 20 minutes on the clock for scoping, understanding your challenge, and preparing your research guide. Alright? Alright, let's go.